Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will be talking about operating systems, Windows, macOS and Linux in simple terms. Apart from this, we will also talk about operating systems in mobiles and TVs. So let's get started. We'll start with what is an operating system. Have you ever wondered what makes your computer, phone or even your smart TV work so easily? The secret lies in the something called an operating system or OS. It's the invisible powerhouse that manages everything behind the scene. A operating system is the backbone of any computer system. Think of it as a middleman between you and your device. Without it, your computer would just be a pile of circuit and metal. It manages hardware and software, control how your memory is located, ensures applications run smoothly, and lets you interact with your device effortlessly. There are many different operating systems, each with its own style and functionality. The most popular ones include Windows, macOS, Linux. There are also Android and iOS for mobile phones. Each of these is designed for specific devices and user experiences. The first ever operating system was developed in the 1950s for mainframe computers. Back then, computers were massive and OS software was needed to automate tasks and would otherwise take hours. Now I'll talk about why do we need an operating system. Imagine turning your computer and seeing nothing, no desktop, no icons, no apps, just a blinking cursor waiting for you to manually type commands for every single time. This sounds exhausting. There's come operating system. It's the unsung hero that makes computing easy and efficient by handling complex tasks behind the scene. The OS manages files and storage, ensure that your documents, photos and videos are organized and easily accessible. It is the OS which do all these things. Whether you are saving, renaming or deleting files, the OS does the heavy lifting for us. It also processes scheduling. Ever wondered how our how can we browse the web, listen music and edit a document all at once? The OS handles process scheduling, deciding which tasks get priority and everything runs smoothly without crashes. For example, if you are running two windows at the same time in your computers, this is the OS which make them run simultaneously. Without OS, it would be impossible to run them simultaneously. OS also manages memory allocation. Our computer memory is not infinite. The OS efficiently allocates RAM, ensuring that running programs get enough memory to function properly without slowing down your system. For as in the last example, when we are open two windows at the same time, our memory is not infinite. It is the OS which makes that both the windows get the enough amount of the memory which they are required. OS also acts a bridge between hardware and software. When we open an app, the OS acts as a bridge between hardware and software. It translates our clicks and commands into instruction that the computer's process, memory, and storage can understand. Then OS gives the user interface like GUI and CLI. OS provides a way for us to interact with our device. We can use graphical user interface GUI with icons and windows or a command line interface CLI for direct text-based controls. Without an OS, we would have to manually type hardware instruction for every task like loading a program or printing a document. Imagine writing dozens of lines of code just to open a file. It would be so exhausting. Now we'll talk about the evolution of our operating systems over time. Back in the 1950s and 60s, OS were just starting to emerge. These early systems relied on batch processing, meaning that tasks were executed one after another without user interaction. It was efficient for the time but also quite limiting. The 1970s and 80s brought a computing revolution with Unix and MS-DOS. Unix introduced multi-user capabilities and became the foundation for many modern systems. Meanwhile, MS-DOS opened doors for personal computers, making technology more accessible to everyday users. Then, from 1990s to present, this was the era of dominance of Windows, macOS, and Linux. From 1990s and beyond, we see the rise of giants like Windows, macOS, and Linux. These systems brought graphical interface, multitasking, and global connectivity, shaping the digital world we know today. Did you know that the first version of Windows, Windows 1.0, was released in 1985? It introduced a graphical interface with overlapping windows, a significant leap forward for usability. Now we'll talk about Windows OS. Windows was developed by Microsoft. Windows has become the dominant force in the world of operating systems, especially for personal computers. Its wide adoption is a testament to its versatility and ease of use. Why is Windows so popular? It's all about the user-friendly graphical interface and vast software compatibility. From beginners to advanced users, Windows caters everyone. Windows shines in gaming, office productivity, and enterprise solutions. Its ecosystem offers tools and applications tailored for nearly every purpose. Whether you are running spreadsheets, editing videos, or playing the latest game, Windows is for everything. Did you know that Windows XP was so popular that even after its support ended, some ATMs around the world continued using it? Now we'll talk about macOS. macOS is unique in being exclusive to Apple devices, which means it's designed and optimized especially for their hardware. This tight integration ensures unmatched performance and reliability. One of the standout features of macOS is its high-level security and the way it integrates smoothly with the entire Apple ecosystem. Whether it's your iPhone, iPad, or Apple Watch, macOS connects them all seamlessly. macOS is favorite among designers, developers, and creatives. Its intuitive design, powerful tool, and stable environment make it perfect for everything from graphic design to video editing and software development. The first version of macOS, known as macOS X, was built on Unix. This foundation contributed to its stability and robustness, making it a reliable choice for professionals. Now we'll talk about Linux. Linux is a free and open source operating system, meaning anyone can view, modify, and distribute its code. This makes it incredible, customizable, catering to both individual and enterprise needs. Linux is the backbone of servers, a favorite for developers, and a must-have in cybersecurity. Its reliability and flexibility makes it indispensable in critical fields. What makes Linux even more fascinating are its distribution, each designed for specific needs. From user-friendly Ubuntu to advanced Arch Linux, from versatile Fedora to security-focused Kali Linux, there's a distro for everyone. Over 96% of the world's top 1 million web servers run on Linux. Now we'll talk about differences between Windows, macOS, and Linux. First of all, we'll talk about ease of use. Windows and macOS are very easy to use, while Linux is also easy to use but a little harder compared to Windows and macOS. Then we'll talk about customization. Windows and macOS are limited, but Linux is highly customizable. Then we'll talk about security. Windows has a good security. macOS has better than Windows, but Linux has the best security. Then we'll talk about price. Windows are paid, but uh, cheap compared to macOS, which are very expensive, while Linux are completely free. Linux distributors like Ubuntu and Fedora are completely free. Apart from Windows, macOS, and Linux, there are operating systems for mobile phones also. There are two giants, Android and by Google and iOS by Apple, which dominate the entire mobile operating system market. Together, they account for nearly all mobile devices in use today. These operating systems are specifically designed for touchscreen, offering a seamless experience for users and even growing app ecosystem that caters to diverse needs. One major difference between the two is that Android is open source, allowing manufacturers and developers to customize it. In contrast, iOS is proprietary, tightly controlled by Apple for consistency and security. The first version of iOS, originally called iPhone OS, was introduced back in 2007. It marked the beginning of the modern smartphone era. So that's all for today. If you found this video helpful, like this to support the channel, subscribe and comment below if you have any question. Thank you for today. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.